After I lost my job, my wife and I agreed to downsize quietly. We told no one. The very next day, a for sale sign showed up on our lawn, with our neighbor's name on it. I ripped it down. She came over and said, "Don't be embarrassed. I'm just helping you speed up the inevitable." I thought it was a joke. Until we got a letter from a buyer with an offer, and interior photos that had never been posted online. I checked the metadata. They were taken from inside our bedroom. While we slept. I'm Craig. I'm 48. I live, or used to live, in Loveland, Colorado. Quiet town. Too quiet sometimes. You don't expect this kind of stuff in a place where people still wave at each other and mow their lawns on Sundays. I worked in logistics for over 20 years. Senior guy at an agricultural co-op. Hard work, good pay. I was proud of what I did. I wasn't one of those loud guys always bragging about promotions or raises. I just worked, came home, and lived my life. My wife Denise and I had a good thing, or so I thought. We didn't have kids. We tried, but it never happened. Maybe that's part of it, I don't know. You spend years building something and one day, it just slips. I got laid off in March. Out of nowhere. Restructuring, they said. That word hits like a hammer when you're almost 50. It wasn't just a job. It was identity. Routine. Safety. Denise didn't flip out. She wasn't thrilled, but she didn't scream or cry. We sat down, had a glass of wine, and talked. We both agreed we'd have to make changes. Maybe sell the house, move into a smaller place until I found something else. But we'd do it quietly. We didn't want people feeling sorry for us. We didn't want her family getting involved. No pity. That conversation was on a Monday night. Tuesday morning, I pulled into the driveway after going to the bank and stopped cold. There it was. A big-ass white for sale sign. Right there on my front lawn. Not from a national real estate group. Not even from one of those discount online brokers. This sign had a name on it, Rachel Kincaid. Rachel is, or was, our neighbor. Lived 2 doors down. Late 40s, always wearing too much perfume and high heels that didn't match her outfits. She had this fake smile you could spot from across the street. She worked as a realtor for a local firm. I'd helped her out a couple times with stuff around her yard. That was the extent of our relationship. So why the hell was her sign in my yard? I parked, walked up to it, and yanked it out of the ground like it was a goddamn weed. Right as I was setting it down on the porch, I heard her heels clacking down the sidewalk. She strutted up like she was walking a runway, not trespassing. She smiled wide and said, like she was doing me a favor, "Don't be embarrassed, Craig. I'm just helping you speed up the inevitable." I blinked. "What the hell are you talking about?" She didn't answer. Just gave this little shrug like I was overreacting. Then she turned and walked back to her house like she just dropped off a casserole. That was Tuesday. Wednesday morning, Denise and I get this envelope slipped into our mailbox. No stamp. Just tucked in like someone didn't want it seen. Inside was a typed letter. An offer. Cash buyer. Full price offer, just slightly under Zillow's estimate. Wanted to move quickly. Said they'd seen an off-market listing and had already fallen in love with the house. Attached were photos. Now listen to this. These weren't professional real estate shots. These were random, real-life photos. A couple of the living room, one of the hallway, one of our bedroom. Not cleaned up, not staged. Just raw. Lived in. One photo even had the TV paused mid-show. Another had dishes in the sink. And the one of our bedroom. It was dark. Blurry. But I could see the bed. I could see me and Denise sleeping in it. Someone had taken a photo from the corner of our room, facing the bed. While we were asleep. At night. I sat there staring at it for a long time. My skin went cold. I checked the metadata. I'm not a tech expert, but I know how to look at file data. The photo was taken 2 nights ago. At 3:47 a.m. I was asleep in my own bed while someone was inside our house, taking pictures. My first thought was break-in. But nothing was stolen. No damage. No signs of forced entry. So I asked Denise. I showed her the photos. She looked shocked. But not as shocked as I expected. Her reaction wasn't, "Who did this?" It was, "Where did you get these?" That's when I knew. I pushed. Hard. She finally admitted it. Rachel had been coming over. A lot. While I was out running errands or at the unemployment office. She said she just needed someone to talk to. Someone who wasn't me. And Rachel, the sweet neighbor next door, had offered to help her explore options. Help. Right. Denise let her take photos of our house. Said Rachel had a friend, some cash buyer, who liked to move fast on private deals. Denise swore she never let Rachel into our bedroom, swore she had no idea about that photo. But I didn't believe her. Not anymore. Rachel had keys. I found that out later. A spare, from when we were on vacation 2 years ago. Denise never asked for it back. Said she forgot? Forgot. Rachel didn't just come in once. She'd been inside more than once. And Denise let her. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw things. But I didn't. I just sat there, staring at my wife, wondering how long she'd been keeping secrets. That's when I knew I had to do something. They thought I was weak. Unemployed. Tired. Out of options. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Continue the story, add conflicts or story twists, keeping the details sharp and the tone dramatic, use simple words. No ending yet. I didn't yell. I didn't throw her out. That's what they probably expected me to do. Instead, I stayed quiet. Cold. I told Denise I needed space and started sleeping in the guest room. She didn't fight it. Just nodded, said she understood. I started making my own plans. The first thing I did was check the house's security. We had a cheap system. Just one camera by the front door. I upgraded it. Bought a full set of cams with night vision and motion alerts. Inside and out. I installed them myself and didn't tell Denise. She never asked? Too busy walking on eggshells. Then I changed all the locks. Front door. Back door. Garage. Even the one on the basement. I didn't tell her that either. She didn't seem to notice. Probably figured I was just being paranoid. But here's the kicker, I didn't just stop there. I called my old friend Brad. He's a local handyman who does quiet jobs for people who don't want their business out in the open. I paid him cash to install a hidden camera in the guest bedroom too. Facing the hallway. Discreet. Just in case. Then I waited. It didn't take long. One Thursday afternoon, I was out job hunting, that's what I told Denise, but I wasn't. I parked a few blocks away and walked back through the alley behind our house. From the side yard I saw her. Rachel. Letting herself in with a spare key. She didn't knock. She just walked right in like she owned the place. I had my phone out. Recorded the whole thing. She stayed for about 20 minutes. When I checked the inside cameras later, she didn't go into the kitchen. She went straight into our bedroom. That was it for me. I made copies of the video clips and burned them to a USB drive. Then I went to Rachel's real estate office. I waited in my truck until she came out at lunch. I followed her to a coffee shop and walked in while she was waiting in line. I said loud enough for a few people nearby to hear. I need to talk to you about the photos you took of me and my wife while we were sleeping. She froze. Looked around, trying to play it off. Craig, don't cause a scene. I smiled. Scene's already started. I've got the footage. And the buyer's letter. You've got 5 seconds to walk outside or I press play right here. We stepped outside. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten her. I told her what I had, videos of her entering without permission, metadata from the photos, a timeline that lined up too perfectly. She went pale. Then I handed her the USB. You're going to delete any copies of those photos, I said. You're going to tell the buyer this house is off the market. And you're going to stay the hell away from my wife. Or this goes to the cops. Your broker. Your license board. She tried to play tough. Said, you think anyone's going to believe you? I leaned in close. I don't need them to believe me. I just need them to hear it. People talk. Especially in a town this small. She backed off. Told me it was a misunderstanding. That she only meant to help. That night, I told Denise everything. And I gave her a choice. You knew what she was doing. Maybe not all of it, but enough. You let her walk through our home like it was a showroom. You let her into our marriage. She cried. Said she was sorry. Said she felt cornered, scared, didn't know what to do. I said, you're not scared. You're just caught. She moved out 2 days later. But that wasn't the end. Rachel didn't delete everything. She didn't know I had one more ace up my sleeve. A week passed. The house was quiet. Denise was staying with her sister in Fort Collins. Rachel hadn't come near the property. I figured maybe I'd scared her straight. Then I got an email. No subject. No signature. Just a message that read, you really think you're the only one who knows how to play this game? Attached were more photos. These were worse. A shot of me in the living room, standing by the TV with a beer in my hand. A shot of me in the garage, looking at old boxes. One of me asleep in the guest room. These weren't from the cameras I installed. I checked. Someone else had been inside my house again. I tore the place apart. Looked for hidden cams I hadn't placed. Found one. Tucked inside a wall vent in the hallway. Small, black, and Wi-Fi enabled. Way too advanced for someone like Rachel to install herself. So I dug deeper. I took the USB footage to Brad, the handyman. He's seen all kinds of stuff in town. Showed him the photos. That's when he told me Rachel had a partner. A guy named Clint Mahoney. Licensed contractor, off-the-books tech installer. Works with sketchy real estate agents to stage houses, and sometimes stage opportunities. Like accidentally, catching leaks or break-ins to force a quick sale. Brad said Clint and Rachel had been running a quiet side hustle for years, targeting couples with financial stress, moving in on the weaker spouse, manipulating them with pressure and fake buyers. If one partner got cold feet, they'd up the heat. Surveillance. Anonymous offers. Staged bids to stir panic. I wasn't the first. But I was going to be the last. I called Denise. I asked her if she knew who Clint was. She paused. Then said, "He was at Rachel's once. I thought he was her boyfriend. Did he ever come here?" I don't know. Maybe. That was enough. I filed a police report. Not just for the break-in. For stalking. Harassment. I gave them the photos, the metadata, the footage of Rachel entering the house. I gave them Brad's statement. They took it seriously. Especially the bedroom shot. But I didn't stop there. I hired a lawyer. Because here's the twist Rachel didn't see coming. The house was in my name. Only mine. Bought it before Denise and I married. She never got on the deed. Which meant Rachel had no right to market it. No right to show it. No legal leg to stand on. We filed a cease and desist. Then we hit her brokerage with a formal complaint. But Rachel didn't just vanish. She got angry. Started posting on local Facebook groups. Saying I was unstable. That I was harassing her. That I was a danger to the neighborhood. Then, one night, my phone rang at 2:14 a.m. I answered. Silence. Then, faint breathing. Then a whisper. "You should have just let it go. Continue up to the ending. Ending must be very dramatic, vengeful endings who made mistakes, including OP if applicable, use simple words." I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the dark guest room with the lights off and a baseball bat across my lap. Not because I thought someone would break in. I knew they already had. I just wanted to be ready when it happened again. But no one came. Next morning, I made one last move. I contacted a local real estate news blog. Small site, but people in town read it. I told the editor everything. I showed them the emails, the metadata, the hidden camera, even the voicemail from the police officer confirming a formal investigation had been opened against Rachel and Clint. They ran the story. Local realtor accused of breaking into homes for off-market sales scheme. It hit the front page of the site on a Monday morning. By lunchtime, it had spread all over Facebook. Local Twitter blew up. People who lived in Rachel's neighborhood started commenting. Some said they always thought she was too nosy. One woman said she remembered Rachel offering to watch her house while she was out of town, and now wasn't sure what that really meant. Rachel tried to fight back. Posted a video crying in her car, saying she was being targeted by a bitter man going through a divorce. But the damage was done. Her brokerage dropped her within 24 hours. Clint's business page vanished from Google. The police searched Rachel's house and found more photos. More USB sticks. A logbook with addresses, dates, and notes. My name was in it. So was my neighbor's. And another family down the street. The DA didn't press charges for burglary. Hard to prove she entered without permission since Denise had let her in. But they did file for stalking, harassment, and unauthorized surveillance. Clint got hit harder. He had unregistered surveillance gear in his possession and a record from another county. But even that wasn't the real end. The real ending came when Denise came crawling back. She showed up at my door 3 weeks after the story broke. Hair tied up, sunglasses on, like she was hoping I wouldn't recognize her. "I made a mistake," she said. I didn't answer. I didn't know it would get this bad. I was scared, Craig. I didn't know how to fix things. She started crying. I just wanted to feel like someone had a plan. That someone could take care of it. I didn't think you could. And that's when I realized what hurt the most. Not the photos. Not the betrayal. It was that my own wife didn't believe in me when it mattered. I told her I'd be filing for divorce. That I already had a lawyer. That I wasn't angry anymore. I just wanted her gone. You made your choice, I said. Now live with it. She left without another word. Rachel took a plea deal. Lost her license, paid a fine, and vanished from Loveland. I heard she moved down to Pueblo. Clint's still waiting on his court date. I sold the house myself, legally, and moved into a small place in Estes Park. Quiet, colder, but peaceful. And now? Now I sleep through the night. But I still have cameras. Always. Because I learned something through all this. Sometimes the worst monsters don't break in through windows. They're the ones you let in through the front door. And sometimes? They wear heels and carry real estate signs.